What was for you an important message to get into this record? Maybe not in the whole record, but in a certain song. Was it something you wanted to get out?
You know, to be honest, I didn't really go into this thinking about messages or, you know, overviews at all. If in fact that was one thing I was kind of wary of, because I think with A Weekend in the City and Intimacy, there was so much written about what swings had to be about, and it was like, I don't know, I don't think that, you know, I personally don't respond well to when everything is spelled out for me as a listener. You know, you want people to be able to discover their own meanings in music. You know, you don't want them to be told it's not valid because it's not right. So I didn't think about what things were going to have to be. Obviously, I wrote lyrics about things I was thinking at the time and feeling at the time. And looking back on it now, I maybe see some parallels or some themes, but at the time, I was just trying to document where I was that day. You know, when I was in the studio, there was no overview.
That you mean for this record? That's the important thing, to live in the moment a little bit. Is there one thing that you're really proud of, maybe as a writer, one thing that you wrote that has special meaning for you?
In terms of the music, or in terms of the lyrics?
Or that reflects well the moment you were in the studio, that maybe embodies the whole period that you worked in?
I mean, I think probably the one that I'm. Sorry, in terms of musical lyrics.
Yeah, you said you write really well in the moment for this record. Is there one song or one lyric that really reflects maybe the overall feeling or captures the overall feeling?
Yeah, I think "So He Begins to Lie," the first song on the record. That was lyrically. That was. I was very impressed about where that came from. You know. I was in the States at the time, and I was watching a lot of reality television, a lot of just really bad reality television, and it started to seep into me this idea of there being a division between what you publicly present to the world to be viewed and dissected, versus what is actually going on inside of you. I thought that was quite an interesting idea. It paralleled some of the stuff that I've maybe felt as a musician in the public eye. You know, having to give interviews and having to dissect your own thoughts and behaviour to then project it. You know, to then present it to someone, to then it being used in some sort of narrative about what's going on. You know, that's quite a difficult scenario to maybe get your head around, and I started just to wonder about that. And it was just, you know, the song just came out of nowhere. It just really just came out of nowhere. I was really impressed with that.
All right. Yeah. Have 1 minute nog? Of, yeah. Well, one last question. It might be an obvious thing. Was it also for obvious reasons that you named the album for?
Well, I mean, yeah, it was two obvious reasons. It's our 4th record, and I guess the most important reason was that it's the sound of the 4 of us, you know, in a room together without any, you know, with minimal manipulation and trickery. It's the most honest record I think we've made, and I think that's where that's why it had to be called just 4.
Honesty,
yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for your time.